How many Pikmin does it really take to be Pikmin 3? Well, many people think the minimum is 42 Pikmin, as shown in the YouTube video by CowFoodYum. However, that is wrong. You can go lower, and in this video I will show you how. When starting the game, our ship gets hit by an asteroid while on the search for food to help feed an overpopulated planet. The captain of the ship, Charlie, falls out of the ship and is separated from his ship and crew. We then meet these weird creatures called yellow Pikmin and are forced to do a tutorial. We then follow a path that leads to a cave and then swap to controlling Alf, another member of the ship that crashed. The yellow Pikmin I used in that tutorial aren't going to be counted for our total Pikmin count though. This is because those yellow Pikmin are gone and unusable after the tutorial, and because those yellow Pikmin aren't counted on the total Pikmin number on the end day screen in the game itself. As Alf, I meet the red Pikmin and assist them in bringing down this weird thing from a tree. This weird thing is an onion, a device used to make new Pikmin by bringing parts such as pellets or enemies under it. This is also where I store Pikmin so that I can use them in future days. I immediately find a problem, however, when I see this bag. This bag needs 20 Pikmin in order to push it. Since I don't want that many Pikmin, I don't want to push this bag. However, this is the only path to progress the game, so I start searching for out of bounds spots. Going out of bounds allows oneself to exit the intended boundaries of the game, which lets them get to areas unintended by the developers. And so, I start to search every crevice of each rock in the small area I have access to, and even ran against the corner of this bag for a while, but no matter what, I could not find a single way to clip out of bounds. This means I had no choice but to grow 20 red Pikmin to push this bag. After pushing the bag, I then go through this cave and are met by our ship. I then blast off for the night to escape danger and land the next day at the Garden of Hope. When we land, I use the red onion in order to retrieve the 20 Pikmin I made for the previous day. Using these Pikmin, I build a bridge in order to get to the other side of this water, which I can't get to otherwise. On the other side of the bridge, there is a massive enemy called the Bullworm. Since I have less Pikmin than the game wants us to, I'm going to be doing less damage than intended, causing some fights to be harder. I then come across a fruit called the Sunseed Berry. Fruits are essential in this game. You need fruits in order to not starve on this planet, allowing you to have more days to play the game. I wander into this cave and see a black colored onion encased in a crystal. A strange floating creature called the Medusa Slurker then descends upon us. I kill it and it turns out to have been carrying a new type of Pikmin, the rock Pikmin. It drops 6 of them on its death, causing our Pikmin total to now be 26. These rock Pikmin are used to break crystals as well as these crystal walls. They also don't latch onto enemies they are attacking to, like the red Pikmin, but bounce off of them instead, making them worse for combat. Using the rock Pikmin, I can break this wall that another shipmate is trapped behind. Now that I have another captain to help us, I can throw them in order to get to elevated places and command them, allowing us to cover more ground in less time. I then break this wall using a rock Pikmin to access a new area. I then get a signal coming from a cave in this area and decide to chase it. The signal is separated by a body of water, so I throw Brittany and her Pikmin over to build a bridge so I can allow Alf to get to the other side. I enter the cave and am greeted by the armored Maudad. The armored Maudad attacks us by trying to trap us inside its pincers and then eat the trapped Pikmin. In order to kill it, I have to use rock Pikmin in order to destroy the hard exoskeleton, and then use our red Pikmin to latch onto the skin once the skeleton is destroyed. The boss goes down easily without killing any Pikmin, and then I find out what was causing the signal was this data glutton the armored Maudad dropped. I bring it to the ship as well as this fire-breathing feast I found. I decide to land at the distant tundra after getting a signal from there. While trying to land, I get hit by a tree branch, causing Brittany to fall out of the ship and into this cave. In this cave, I have yellow Pikmin alongside this yellow onion. This is where my run starts to differentiate from CowFoodYum's run. CowFoodYum could decide to whistle and use these 5 yellow Pikmin in this area. Now, however, these yellow Pikmin are completely optional to get. This means that unlike the red and rock Pikmin that are required, you don't have to get the yellow Pikmin at all in order to beat this game. Since the game wants you to get these Pikmin, they require you to be forced to light up this room by using the 5 yellow Pikmin at the start, and then grow a total of 20 yellow Pikmin to push this ball down the cave, allowing you to leave it. However, in order to skip yellow Pikmin entirely, I have to do this out of bounds glitch called Yellow Onion Skip. In order to do so, I have to walk into this wall to the left of the ball by barely moving down and trying to move as left as possible. If I don't do it at the right angle, I end up sliding down and having to go back up to the top of the slide to try again. Once you get on top of this wall, you have to react very quickly to make sure you don't overshoot and accidentally walk right back off the wall. You then have to precisely move past these ice shards that act as barriers to stop you from just running across the wall. You do this by moving to the left while holding as far up towards the ice crystals as you can. Then you have to get past these branches, also causing a barrier, not allowing you to just walk on the wall. You have to walk at a precise angle for these branches as well. However, if you try to move as upward as you could towards it, you would fall off, causing you to have to restart the entire glitch. These branches were very difficult to get past and very inconsistent. After 10 minutes of attempting this glitch, I had finally made it past these branches. All that was left was to randomly walk around in order to trigger the loading zone, allowing me to escape this cave with a total of 0 yellow Pikmin. And now I am outside and can get some fresh air. For some reason, CowFoodYum took the 5 yellow Pikmin at the start of the cave and then did this out of bounds glitch, even though they could have used it to skip the yellows entirely. However, there is a problem. There is a bridge that separates us from Alf. I need to build this bridge in order to reunite and progress the game, but some of these bridge pieces are locked behind these electric gates. Yellow Pikmin are used to break down electric fences and can be thrown higher than other Pikmin, allowing them to reach stuff other Pikmin can't, as well as light up rooms. I cannot build this bridge at all, so in order to skip this bridge, I must do another out of bounds glitch called Distant Tundra Bridge Skip. I will be calling this DTBS for short. This is another difference in CowFoodYum's run. Since they had gotten 5 yellow Pikmin, they could break down the electric fences. In order to do this glitch, I first must run repeatedly up this cliff until I manage to get on top of it. After that, there are these branches I can phase through, and then one that actually has a barrier around it. I precisely go around this branch with the little land around it so I don't end up falling off. If I fall off the cliff while getting around the branch, I can simply go back and walk up it again. Then I need to get past another branch with a barrier. In order to do so, I go in between this crevice as close as I can get. When I try going further down, I am being pushed away from the branch for some reason. Walking at a specific angle leftward fixes that and lets us phase through this branch and then move right to get to where I want to be. I then follow this path up the cliff I got on top of until I reach this ravine. I then walk between the crevice of this rock and then precisely go onto this path. After walking on this path, I fall into this void, and then Brittany respawns on top of this cliff with the bag. By bringing Alf over to that area with the bag and throwing Pikmin on top of the cliff, Brittany can call over those Pikmin and then use it to push this bag down, which leads you to the boss room. On my first attempt of the glitch, I made it to the ravine area. However, instead of going through the crevice of this rock, I tried exploring around this cliff I'm not supposed to be on because I was curious. After walking around, I hit an invisible barrier. This barrier prevented me from walking to the position I needed to go to in order to do the glitch properly. And so, while walking around and trying to get past that barrier, I entered the loading zone to this room that has the hairy Longlegs boss. From this room, the only path I can take is one that leads back into this cave, because the other entrance is blocked off by a wall I can't lift. This means I would have to do the yellow onion skip again in order to get back to DTBS, and so I decide to restart the day. By restarting the day, I am resetting the limited amount of time I have for the day, before the game automatically ends and forces me into day 4. Also, before leaving the cave, time does not progress, meaning that the first yellow onion skip I do in the day will not cause me to lose time I could have fighting the boss. And so, I tried doing yellow onion skip again, and it was hell. I have no idea why, but on this reset, I struggled so much. I couldn't even get on top of the wall consistently without falling back off. And even when I got back onto the wall, I kept failing on the ice crystals and branches, until after 30 minutes of attempts, I had finally gotten out of this damn cave and could attempt DTBS again. And so, I get back to the ravine and go in between the crevices of these rocks that I need to do in order to successfully pull off the glitch. However, I fell off a cliff from walking too far into the crevice, and once I fell, Brittany respawned on top of the loading screen to the hairy Longlegs room. I had to do the yellow onion skip for a third time, and let me tell you this, the more times you do yellow onion skip, it doesn't get any easier. I had to deal with the same falling off the wall once I got on top and failing the ice crystals and branches again, until one attempt where I made it to the branches. It looked like I was going to make it until the game suddenly pushed me down and made me fall off. Even the game is messing with me at this point. I thought I was going to make it that time, and I did make it eventually after 40 minutes. And now, back to DTBS, I got into the crevice and started walking in the intended path until Brittany fell off a cliff again. This time, it was because I didn't walk far enough in, so now I have to suffer doing yellow onion skip again. After doing this insufferable glitch and getting baited by the damn tree branch pushing me down, I finally make it out again, back to the ravine, which has caused me to screw up so many times. I walked too far in again. I'm not going to even talk about yellow onion skip anymore because I already said everything I can possibly say about it at this point, because I keep having to do it. I walked back into the crevice, this time being extra careful and slow. I had done it. I had gotten just as far as I needed for this glitch, and so all I had to do was follow the path to the respawn point where I could get to the bag. Are you kidding me? I had walked too far left on the path, causing me to fall off this cliff and have to restart the day again. At this point, I have more muscle memory for hitting restart day than I do for brushing my own teeth. I then failed a couple of more times, all in the same ways I've already failed before. After all of these attempts, I knew I had to do something different. So I asked ChatGPT to write a poem before this next attempt. The ravine below where my hopes reside. Back to the onion, the path I retake. Precision eludes with each leap I've tried. A test of patience I scarcely can take. And now, with the power of poetry and art within me, I did it! I got to the bag! I can fight this boss now! And so, I swapped to Alf for the first time of this day, and withdraw my Pikmin to bring them to Brittany, in order to make sure I can safely bring back the fruits to the ship that the boss drops. I decided to fight this enemy called the Joustmite, and it killed one of my Pikmin! I then pondered over the pause screen on what to do. I could go on with that dead Pikmin, lower the bag, and end the day to play it safe. Or I could combine 3 challenges into one playthrough of Pikmin 3. I could do the minimum Pikmin in the minimum amount of days Deathless challenge. And so, I decided to restart that day in order to bring that red Pikmin back to make this challenge a deathless run. This also means I had to do yellow onion skip and inevitably fail DTPS again. This also means you should like and subscribe for all the pain I had to go through for making this challenge. So after numerous attempts, I get back to the bag. Also, I killed that Joustmite without a single Pikmin dying this time. I then kill this fiery blowhog and another Joustmite. I throw the Pikmin up on top of this cliff so Brittany can whistle them and push down this bag. Now some of you may have noticed something strange. I only have 26 Pikmin so far, but on the bottom right it says that there are 31 Pikmin in the field. Well, this is because those 5 yellow Pikmin in the cave count towards the field total. And now it's time to fight this boss. This is a Behemoth Fozbat, and the intended way to kill it is to light up these electrical cords while it is nearby in order for it to drop down and be vulnerable for a short time. The other way to kill it is to light up the big bulborb in the center of the map, causing the boss to be permanently vulnerable. However, I don't have yellow Pikmin to light up anything in this cave to cause this behemoth Fosbat to be vulnerable, so instead of creating light to do huge chunks of damage at a time, I have to wait for them to do this vertex attack that allows them to swallow Pikmin and then throw out res on them. This takes forever. Also, this is the only attack the boss can do, so it really isn't a threat, and I do just fine shipping it down. I finally get the boss to low HP. It started doing its vertex move, and I was throwing my Pikmin at it, until my Pikmin started to be sucked into the vortex. I tried whistling them out, but the behemoth Fosbat ate them. Just when I was about to get the Distant Tundra over with, I had to restart when the boss barely had any HP left. After many more attempts, I got back to the boss and killed it. Charlie pops out of the boss's mouth and becomes our third playable captain. At this point, I was so downright miserable because of having to do Yellow Onion Skip and DTPS so many times. Those glitches are really annoying. I retrieve the Heroine's Tear that the boss drops. I then end the day. Wait, why does it say that there are 2 Pikmin that died? You can clearly see that my red and rock population are the same as they started, and the lines representing that population on the timeline don't change either. So how did 2 Pikmin die during sunset? And how come it says those 2 died, but there isn't 2 on the total deaths? Well, it turns out that those 2 yellow Pikmin that were on the current in the cave Brittany fell in died after sunset. This is because they were never with a captain, and the yellow onion was never activated to protect the Pikmin near it. Those Pikmin perished overnight. As for why they didn't show up on the total death count, I have no idea. However, I do have a hypothesis. Each Pikmin has its own death count for the end screen when you beat the game. Since I don't have yellow Pikmin unlocked yet, the game hasn't activated a change in number on that slot. It makes sense for this slot to be locked because the Pikmin you get in the tutorial with Charlie don't count towards it. So 2 Pikmin died during a deathless run. I'm still counting this run as deathless because I had both never used those yellow Pikmin at all, and because those deaths aren't counted in the total deaths box. But day 3 is finally done. No more Yellow Onion Skip, no more Distant Tundra Bridge script. I was free, and now it's on to day 4 at the Tropical Wilds. In the Tropical Wilds, I throw Charlie and Brittany across this bridge with rock Pikmin so that they can start building it, and then use Alpha and this red Pikmin to kill this for my crawdad. While waiting for both the rock Pikmin and red Pikmin to break their respective walls, I got bored, so I tried throwing Charlie over these rocks for fun when I accidentally whistled a rock Pikmin. This rock Pikmin then fell into the water and drowned. I didn't mention this before, but only blue Pikmin can go into water without drowning, so if any other Pikmin goes in water, they die. In the next attempt, I don't split up my team and instead kill the Hermit Crawdad with both my reds and rocks and then attack this whip-tongued Bulborb. I have to kill them to make sure they don't eat any Pikmin when I retrieve the parts that the boss drops. The whip-tongued Bulborb is way harder than the other Bulborb I met because they can't be charged since their main body isn't on the floor. I have to throw Pikmin at its eyes in order to stun them and prevent it from eating any Pikmin. Once they're dead, I throw Alpha and Charlie across this bridge to start repairing it and to get this Dapper Blob. I have to throw my captain to Pikmin across these tree stumps in order to lower this bag, which allows my other captain to get to the boss arena. I then find the source of the signal, a folded data button buried in the sand, and so I try to dig it up with our Pikmin. However, the sand-belching mirror slug jumps up and eats it, initiating the boss fight. The sand-belching mirror slug has 2 attacks. One wears berries and starts eating the sand, causing a vortex to pull you in towards it so it can eat Pikmin, and another attack in which it rises up to the surface and shoots out rocks, crushing your Pikmin into the sand and forcing you to pluck them out of it. In order to kill this boss, you have to throw a bomb rock in its mouth when it's burrowing, which I didn't actually do because doing so causes Pikmin to die most of the time. So instead, I do the other way of damaging it by charging my Pikmin at it when it resurfaces. The boss goes down easily in no time without any Pikmin dying. But what does take time is bringing back what the boss drops. The boss drops numerous pieces of a Crimson Banquet as well as the Folded Data Glutton. These pieces are quite heavy, so I have to take 3 total trips in order to bring these all back. Yay, another signal, this time at the Twilight River. While exploring, I come across this pink onion on the opposite side of this river, and in order to get to it, I am expected to build another bridge. Yeah, this game kinda uses bridges for a lot of things. The intended solution is to hop on these lily pads to get to this area and then break the crystals for some bridge pieces. There are also other bridge pieces in this cave, and I need to light up this light bulb in this cave using yellow Pikmin, meaning that I cannot build this bridge. So just like the last time I couldn't build a bridge, I have to do an out of bounds glitch to get around it. If I bring 2 captains to this crevice at the lily pad and then hold them and whistle cancel, they can phase through this wall. You have to have a specific camera angle as well as have your whistle cursor over this fluke weed. As this glitch only took 1 step, it was way easier than the yellow onion skip. After, throw 3 rock Pikmin into the water from the mainland side of the river, and swap to the captain who clipped out of bounds to whistle them over so they won't die. Using these 3 rock Pikmin, you can easily kill the arachno guarding the pink onion. This pink onion houses winged Pikmin. The winged Pikmin have the unique ability of flying. This allows you to use them over water, as well as be able to fly over certain obstacles, and use them to charge over stuff you wouldn't be able to get to normally. I am forced to sprout 10 of the winged Pikmin in order to proceed. That is because there is a branch I need to lift up that requires 10 winged Pikmin. Without lifting up that branch, I would have no way to get to the second area of the Twilight River, which is where the boss is. So I start sprouting winged Pikmin by using the contents of the nearby fluke weeds. I bring enemy parts and pellets into the onion, but I accidentally sprout 11 winged Pikmin instead of 10, causing me to have to reset the day. Then I got to the winged onion again. Oh wait, why can I hear Pikmin drowning? What happened? So back when I threw a rock Pikmin at this desiccated skitterleaf, it tried to carry it back to the onion to make more Pikmin. However, the game doesn't expect me to be in this area without building the bridge, so instead of the Pikmin walking in circles before the bridge as they normally do when they are stuck, this rock Pikmin ran straight into the water and died with a corpse. Since this is a deathless challenge run, I restart the day. I then make it back to the winged onion again, sprout a bunch of winged Pikmin, and I bring Alf and Brittany over to this area to kill this flying Joustmite. However, I then realized I made too many winged Pikmin again. Yeah, I don't know why it is so hard for me to sprout exactly 10 winged Pikmin. But finally, on the next attempt I can get exactly 10 winged Pikmin, which brings my total Pikmin count to 36. I charge the winged Pikmin onto this branch so that the lily pads can get past it. Then I get a video call from Olimar asking for help. I then ride on the lily pad so I can get to the next area. In this area, in order to get to the boss, you have to build another damn bridge. After breaking this wall, I walk over to this area to try to explore, but didn't realize that there was a hidden skitterleaf. After seeing it and charging my Pikmin at it, some of my Pikmin charged northward and activated a second skitterleaf, which ate some of my Pikmin, causing me to reset the day. I then go back to this area near the bridge. I decided to do an out of bounds glitch because I thought I wouldn't have enough time to build the bridge and kill the boss. By throwing 2 captains on top of this branch, I can then swap to one of them and then throw the other up this cliff. This took numerous attempts, but I finally got Charlie on top of this cliff. Just like DTBS, there's an area that forces you away from it when walking towards it, but allows you to phase through at a certain angle. You can see Charlie eventually phase through the wall here. However, for some reason, he doesn't go as far as he needs. If you don't go far enough out of bounds, then you won't fall off the cliff and then respawn on top of the path to the boss. Even when I was holding the right angle down for a while, he just wouldn't go as far as he needed for the glitch to work. And I tried several times, so I eventually gave up on this glitch and tried a different one. By using this stump right where the bridge would end, I can clip my captains into it by getting a precise angle. You can swap between your Pikmin and captains in order to get the angle faster. The weird thing about this glitch is that I got it numerous times, but I kept swapping back to my Pikmin because my reaction time was awful. but after finally clipping Alf out of bounds, I dismissed him so that he would move further out of bounds and tried to get a second captain out of bounds. With literally 9 seconds left of the day, I finally got a second captain out of bounds. I then tried to do the final step of the glitch by throwing Alf so he can get on the top of the pathway for the boss, but it didn't work and Alf clipped back into bounds on the ground. Next attempt, I lost Pikmin to the flying Joustmite and had to reset. Then the attempt after that, I tried to start doing the out of bounds clip early, so I threw a singular Pikmin past the bridge and a skitter leaf ate it. When I got back to the second area, I tried clipping my captains out of bounds again, after spending half the day just on that one glitch, and not getting a single captain through it, I gave up on it. I was going to attempt to build a bridge because I couldn't get either of these glitches to work, but wanting to build bridges doesn't give me the ability to stop making too many winged Pikmin. I don't know why it's so hard to not go over 10. Anyway, I finally make it to the second area again. I send my reds and rocks to break this wall while using my winged Pikmin to kill these Scornets. After killing these Scornets, I could then send my winged Pikmin to carry these bridge pieces without worrying about them dying while transporting them. I then sent Brittany over to where the Scornets previously were to start breaking down this wall. Behind this wall are 2 liftable clipboards, one containing bridge pieces. I accidentally lift the one with a bunch of enemies, but they don't attack, so I could easily lift the other one after and get the bridge pieces. I then have to throw my Pikmin on top of this mushroom in order to get on top of this cliff. I throw a captain up there to kill the Arachno with my rock Pikmin. I then charge my wing Pikmin to get the bridge pieces, but now there is a problem. So the only way out of this area is through the water, cause there's an electric gate blocking my Pikmin. And the other path has a bunch of scary enemies that I don't want to fight. So I throw all my Pikmin up to this platform where the bridge pieces were, and then move Charlie to land here so that he can whistle my Pikmin safely. I then realized something. One of my rock Pikmin transported something back to the onion, causing more Pikmin to sprout. I had finished the bridge but now had to restart the day. This happened back when I was killing the skitter leaves. I had whistled the rock Pikmin after I had killed it, but rock Pikmin have a small range of time where they ignore your whistle after attacking something. So after I whistled and swapped to a different captain, the rock Pikmin brought the leaf back to the base. After another failed attempt, I finally get the bridge done without sprouting new Pikmin or having a Pikmin die. I follow the pathway from the bridge in order to get to the boss room where we fight the Scornet Maestro. This boss is very easy. The Scornet Maestro arranges their Scornets in ways that are meant to grab onto Pikmin, but the thing is, these attacks can only get used on the active captain, so I can just throw Charlie without any Pikmin and have him take the Scornets without risking any Pikmin dying. And even though the Scornets did get one ring Pikmin, there is this section in the boss's attack pattern that just lets you free them and prevent them from dying after being caught. This boss is a complete joke, so I can just swarm the Maestro with our ring Pikmin after they send the Scorner to attack Charlie, then charge our red and rocks at it to kill it after it falls down. After killing this joke, it drops a bunch of Scornets as well as Olimar in a seed hive. I retrieve them, and with that we blast off again, finishing the Twilight River on day 5. Also, on the end day results, it shows I never got the wing Pikmin, but that I have the yellow onion and 0 yellow Pikmin. This is because as a result of skipping the yellow onion, the winged onion is being used to display yellow Pikmin because it is the 3rd onion I got, and the yellow onion is supposed to be the 3rd. Olimar just jumped out of the ship and ran away. He also stole all my hard-earned fruit I got that I will never use because this is a minimum day challenge. Let's gather our Pikmin and chase after this fruit thief. Wait, what is going on with the onion? Well, since I skipped getting the yellow onion entirely, the game gets very confused on whether I have yellow Pikmin or not, causing the field number to get all screwed up as well as using the group withdrawal feature. This area is actually an extension of the Garden of Hope created by Olimar blowing up this wall. In order to get to the boss, you are supposed to unlock the blue onion and then create more blue Pikmin in order to build this pot, which allows you to throw your captains across to reach the other side and build a bridge. Since I don't want blue Pikmin, I have to find another way to get past. Luckily for me, I don't have to do another complex glitch in order to get this bridge. If I go around this area to the opposite side of this island and charge our winged Pikmin, I can actually get them to grab these bridge pieces. But unfortunately, there is an invisible barrier there. I need to pluck a blue Pikmin in order to get rid of that barrier, and yes, I tried just pulling it out of the ground but not plucking the Pikmin. After I get our 37th Pikmin, I can then charge these bridge pieces. This contains no skill unlike the annoying glitches I had to do before. Once I use up all the bridge pieces that were in that pile, I can throw a captain across the bridge alongside some rock Pikmin in order to get these bridge pieces in this crystal and kill this peckish aristocrat. This skip saves so much time that I basically have the entire day to kill this boss, so I have no need to worry about time. I start up the boss, but then I get 3 Pikmin crushed by it immediately and have to restart the day. In order to fight the Quaggled Myroclops, you must attack their feet until they explode. Once they explode, the boss will lay down on the ground, exposing its weak spot, allowing you to throw Pikmin on it and damage it. This time around, I fight the boss way more carefully by only charging after he stomps with his foot and whistling before they try to stomp again. While they are stuck in the ground, they have a long-range lick attack, which is easy to avoid due to the long visual cue that is given to warm players beforehand. After breaking the crystal, the Myroclops does his charge attack immediately. I can simply just walk out of the way. After the charge is over, he plunges his feet into the ground, making him vulnerable, allowing us to easily attack its foot. I can then throw our Pikmin onto its weak spot and dodge their tongue attack. Also, for some reason I did a very bad charge, but somehow none of my Pikmin died. I have no idea why. The Myroclops then stomps way too fast for it to be safe to charge, so I try to bait out a charge attack. However, unlike previous charges, this time when he charges, there is very little time to attack the legs, and they flood half of the arena. After spending a long time chipping down their foot, I can finally make the Myroclops fall to the ground and use my winged Pikmin to finish it off. The Myroclops drops Olimar as well as a Wayward Moon, which I bring back to the ship. Something strange happens when I end the day, however. It shows me having 10 yellow Pikmin. I have no idea why this is happening, as I never had or used yellow Pikmin the entire run, so I kinda just ignore it and move on. We realized that the person we rescued was Louie, and not actually Olimar. Olimar is actually at the Formidable Oak, so I fly over there. I take our Pikmin out of the onion and then walk up this path to search for Olimar. I then find Olimar as well as the golden plasma creature. When I approach them, the plasma creature absorbs Olimar and wraps up into a ball. However, before attacking it, I noticed something. There were yellow Pikmin in my squad. This is probably because of the end day results putting 10 yellow Pikmin into existence for some reason. I then restart the day and attempt to take my Pikmin out of the onion again, only to see yellow Pikmin. This is because the group withdraw feature is broken from the moment I got the winged onion. It is withdrawing Pikmin I've never had. I then take out my Pikmin without using the group function and no yellows came out. I then come back to the plasma creature and charge it in order to free Olimar. I then let Pikmin carry Olimar into this cave to try to bring him back to the ship. However, when I walk in the cave, the same plasma creature spawns behind us and starts chasing us. This is a plasma wraith. In order to save Olimar, we must get him out of this cave and protect them from being consumed by the plasma wraith. Instead of the Pikmin following a set path when carrying Olimar, they instead always follow Brittany. The first obstacle we get to in this cave is a Bulborb room. We can easily squash the dwarf Bulborbs with rock Pikmin and charge the sleeping Bulborb from behind. We then have a problem with this wall in the Bulborb room. Since we only have 37 Pikmin, it takes us forever to break walls. This causes the plasma wraith to gain considerable distance on us. I let the plasma wraith consume Olimar and then attack it. After the plasma wraith consumes Olimar, it becomes vulnerable and you can attack it. After you destroy it, you can walk over it for a short while until it regenerates. After destroying the plasma wraith, I walk into this room that was blocked by a crystal wall. In it, there are a bunch of shield rigs that I can kill by throwing rocks at them. These shearwigs are quite dangerous as they can eat Pikmin quickly and easily, so I had to be very careful. In the back of the room, there is a dirt mound with bomb rocks in it. I get 3 Pikmin to carry these bomb rocks and grab Olimar from on top of the plasma wraith that was seconds from regenerating. I then backtrack through the cave to near the entrance so I can get to this wall that can only be blown up using bomb rocks. This path saves time as I don't have to build a bridge and break down dirt walls with only 37 Pikmin. The weird thing with this skip is that it is intended for you to do once you build a bridge, however you could just backtrack and skip that whole section. We then walk into this dark area. In it are flowers called luminous stemples that only bloom and let you walk on them after connecting a current with yellow Pikmin. This is required to get out of the cave because you need to walk on these flowers in order to get on top of the cliff with the pathway that leads out of the cave. Since we can't get through the cave the normal way, we have to get a little creative. I got to this corner behind a couple of bridge pieces and tried to perform an out of bounds glitch. By holding up another captain while standing as close to the wall as I could get and then whistling on the rim of this branch, you could get the captain to clip out of bounds. I tried doing this a couple of times, but the plasma wraith got too close and I had to let it consume Olimar, then destroy it for safety. I then tried to do the glitch again, but it just wasn't working. The plasma wraith regenerated again and I had to kill it again. Then I went back to working on the glitch again, but I just couldn't clip Brittany out of bounds. I then decided to swap save files and use the one I already beat the game in, so that I could practice this glitch without the plasma wraith interrupting me. I tried for half of the day but just couldn't get anything to work. I then got an idea. I went back to my save file I was doing the challenge run on and went through the Bulbo room again. I then went back to the room with the shearwigs, and in it, instead of leaving after I got the bomb rocks, I instead threw 5 red Pikmin into this flower. This flower is a golden candy pop bud, and when Pikmin are thrown into it, it converts the Pikmin to another color. This grants them the abilities that this Pikmin's color normally has and gets rid of the traits of the previous color. So now I have 5 yellow Pikmin and 15 reds. I then go back to blow up the wall and travel into the dark room. To the right of the entrance there is a hill. On top of the hill is another golden candy pop bud. I throw another 5 red Pikmin in there in order to have the needed 10 yellow Pikmin to light up the room. I leave Olimar alone on the floor and get ready with my Pikmin to fight the plasma wraith, while I send Brittany with a winged Pikmin to transport bridge pieces. After destroying the plasma wraith, I send my grounded Pikmin to transport the bridge pieces near them. The plasma wraith then consumes Olimar and I cut them off near the bridge, so that Olimar is closer to being transported without me needing to carry him. I then leave Charlie where the bridge pieces used to be and then light this current across the bridge so that these flowers bloom. I then throw Brittany across this gap with my 10 yellow Pikmin to light another current. I then progress along these flowers and kill an arachnode. The plasma wraith then regenerates and I am trapped behind a dirt wall. Charlie then gets trapped behind the plasma wraith and I am barely able to destroy the dirt wall in time to allow my yellows to carry Olimar away from the plasma wraith. We finally make it out of the cave and the Pikmin follow us carrying Olimar. Also, Charlie just kind of teleported in front of the plasma wraith. But then the plasma wraith comes out of the cave shortly after, taking up a giant form and consuming Olimar. This is a plasma wraith boss fight. This boss is quite unique. The boss's health bar is made up of plasma. You can deplete this plasma by throwing Pikmin in the boss and making the plasma fall off. A plasma wraith can also use the sucking root in order to get that plasma back, so after causing the plasma to fall off the body, you must destroy the plasma on the ground with your Pikmin. The plasma wraith may do a poking attack in which they try to eat Pikmin. This can kill your Pikmin and is an incredibly dangerous move if you are not being careful. The plasma wraith may also shake itself off if you have too many Pikmin on it. This causes plasma to go everywhere and is incredibly good for depleting its health. It then swaps to making zones to shake Pikmin off after some of its HP is depleted. These zones feature an element that only one Pikmin can combat. These zones aren't a threat at all as they are completely stationary besides the rock one, so it can pretty much walk around them. If you destroy them, a good amount of plasma is dropped, making them a good way to deplete health. As they decrease in HP, they will start throwing out 2 of these zones, and eventually 3. And at a certain HP point, they will occasionally fly up in the air in order to eat Pikmin. You are supposed to charge your winged Pikmin once it does this attack to make it fall down and cause plasma to fall on the ground everywhere, but I just run when they do this. That's because this flying attack is incredibly dangerous, and the boss can just eat my Pikmin even when I charge my wings quickly. Now, as this is a minimum day and deathless challenge, I have to beat this plasma wraith before the day ends, and without a single Pikmin dying. If I fail in that, I will have to restart the day and will probably have to do it a lot. I chipped out its HP by getting lots of Pikmin on its body so it shakes them off by creating a zone, and then destroy that zone in order to get the plasma to drop and then destroy it with my Pikmin. The fire and electric zones were the easiest to handle as I had 10 reds and yellows. The crystal and water zones took a while to destroy because I only had 1 blue, and the crystal one is always annoying. I tried to stay far away from the crystal though because it could easily one-shot my Pikmin if I wasn't careful. With the other zones, I could whistle my Pikmin in order to prevent them from dying to an element. After getting its HP low, the plasma wraith walked into the water zone with my winged Pikmin on it, forcing me to whistle them and wasting time. Also, what? That Pikmin just went flying! I then used my ultra spicy spray, which I got from collecting the berries back in the Garden of Hope. Then I spammed my X button to charge all my Pikmin into the plasma wraith to finish it off. But the boss walked into a water zone with all my Pikmin on it again, forcing me to whistle them off to make sure no one dies. But after whistling my Pikmin, I charged at it again, causing it to run out of plasma and die. And with that, we didn't have to restart this boss fight a single time. We have rescued Olimar and gotten the Cosmic Drive Key back and can fly back to Kopar. I had done it. I beat Pikmin 3 with a new lowest Pikmin count of 37. But not only did I beat the game with the minimum amount of Pikmin, I beat it deathless and in the minimum amount of days, which is 7. Subscribe to my channel and like the video for more content like this.